the statistics are rising. 4 out of 5 women struggle with self-love. And I really believe that culturally and in our society, we're not shown how to do it the right way. We're shown we need to love ourselves from the outside in and not the inside out. And so because I've come from not being able to look in mirrors because my self-esteem was so low and such crippling belief systems, to now coaching women on confidence, I've now been able to see both ends. And I'm now looking at women and saying, you don't have to live in pain like this. You don't have to struggle like this. Self-love is your birthright. It really, really is. You're entitled to it at any time. And so this is my mission. It's deeper than a passion for me. It's a mission. And so this is why I created the Worthy Woman brand, to contribute to changing this narrative.
Wow. Well, it's so wonderful having Sara Prescott here with me today so we can explore the Worthy Woman brand that she's created. And I'm thrilled to have met you, Sara, and thrilled that we work together with self-esteem folks. And it's just been a real joy to know you. I'm so glad we can connect again on Zoom.
It's been a pleasure. You are one of my favorite people in this world, so I appreciate you so much, and I really
back at you. Yeah. Actually, I'd just really like to hear about your business. First of all, can you tell me your story and how you got through your self-esteem issues and became Worthy Woman founder, for crying out loud? I mean, such a good story. I know everybody would love to hear it.
Thank you, Judy. So I struggled a lot with low self-esteem, and it started for me when I was I noticed it was bad for me when I was around 13, 14 years old. And I was noticing that I was very self-critical. I was noticing that I was avoiding looking in certain mirrors and reflections. I was noticing that when I do my makeup for school in the morning, I couldn't have any natural light in the room. And my low self-esteem was really bad, and I was really kind of consumed with negative beliefs about how I looked physically, to the point where actually I found myself, and I say repulsive, but that was actually how I found myself. I used to think that people would stare at me for being so ugly, and people would wonder, why does she look how she looks?
Oh my gosh.
So my low self-esteem was really low. I was in a really bad way. My mum, she took me to go and buy some makeup one day, and we went to this big store, and this woman said that she wanted to colour match foundation for me. And I remember sitting on this chair and she's colour matching me, and I remember feeling so vulnerable because obviously she's taking my makeup off, and I didn't even let my mum see me without makeup on at that point, or anybody, and she's taking my makeup off, and I'm trying to hold myself together because I'm really nervous and really vulnerable right now. And I remember she showed me the mirror, and instantly, as soon as she showed me the mirror, I just started crying in the middle of this shop. And I said to my mum, I need to leave, and I need to leave because I felt so vulnerable, so exposed, so like I was being judged by everybody. So, my low self-esteem for me at that point in my life was really bad. But of course, I was very young, and so it wasn't something that I thought, well, I want to fix it. It was just something I accepted as normal. As my kind of story. I didn't know how to fix it if I could. I didn't know any of that. So low self-esteem for me, it was a big part of my life for so long. And it wasn't until I was around in my early 20s when I actually started to actually question me and look after me and start to question why I was feeling how I was feeling. And it stemmed from me having some going through a lot of pain as a result of some relationships in my life which weren't kind of healthy for me. And some relationships were, with my parents that were having quite a negative effect on me, and relationships with my partner at the time. And I was in a space where I was feeling very lost, very confused. and I had so many limiting beliefs, and I went and saw a counsellor, and I only saw her once because I couldn't afford many sessions. I was at university, I was young. And so I went and saw this woman, and I sat in front of her for the first time, and I basically said, I need help. I feel so lost, so confused. I'm struggling. And she basically, after I explained my story, you know, she said, Sara, she said, you're looking after everybody else's country. And I found it so interesting how she referred to people as countries. She said, but you've never looked after your own. She said, you've never looked after your needs. And she said, it's now it's about time you started to do that. And for me, and I'll never forget this conversation, because for me, that was the point where I'd never had anybody kind of validate my feelings before.
Wow.
I didn't feel like. And so that was the first time I was given permission by somebody to really be seen, to you know, to look at myself and be like, okay, no, actually I do matter, because I was a people pleaser and I never really thought about my own feelings. I cared so much about everybody else's. And so that conversation sparked so much growth in me, so much healing. And then that was where my self-love journey kind of started. And so I guess fast forward over 10 years now, you know, it's just been a personal development journey for me of growth, healing, expansion. And it was really looking at myself and who I was as a woman and loving and accepting myself. That was when I really started to accept how I looked physically. You know, I realized it was an inside job, it was never an outside job. And so this, cut a long story short, has really led me to really want to contribute to changing this narrative now in our society, where so many women struggle with low self-esteem, low confidence, to the point where, you know, the statistics are rising. 4 out of 5 women struggle with self-love. And I really believe that culturally and in our society, we're not shown how to do it the right way. We're shown we need to love ourselves from the outside in and not the inside out. And so because I've come from not being able to look in mirrors because my self-esteem was so low and such crippling belief systems, to now coaching women on confidence, I've now been able to see both ends. And I'm now looking at women and saying, you don't have to live in pain like this. You don't have to struggle like this. You know, self-love is your birthright. It really, really is. You're entitled to it at any time. And so this is my mission. You know, it's deeper than a passion for me. It's a mission. And so this is why I created the Worthy Woman brand, to contribute to changing this narrative.
Wow. You know, we're taught to look like the models, and what are there, 20 of them on the planet at any given time who are Victoria's Secret models. And I mean, it's just insane that, but you know, it's historically been what we wanted to do, to feel accepted and to feel loved and to feel attractive. And I'm just so happy to be alive at this point in time when we can go much deeper than just what our bodies look like, you know, and, be appreciative, just learning some self-appreciation. It's such a beautiful thing to do, and it's not selfish. We've been taught it's been selfish, and I'm, as I've said before, just so glad that you are getting to experience the benefit of this new information and the truth, really, right? At a young age, compared to what I had to go through to, you know, learn how to be self-loving too. And so you work mostly with women?
Yeah, I work mostly with women. And you know, I think, and interestingly enough, you know, I do have men come to me, and I have a lot of men in my life. I've got 3 brothers, I've got male friends, and interestingly enough, I have men come to me and ask me for help a lot of the time, you know. And so even my brother, I've got 3 brothers, they're all like my best friends, they're amazing.
Oh wow.
And my brother came to me back in January, and he said, Sara, I need help, because they know me in the family as being quite personal development, growth, journaling, self-discipline, you know, all that. And so my brothers, my family, they're very supportive, but they kind of just leave me to it. And so my brother actually come and said to me, he said, Sara, I need help. Like I'm struggling with some things, mental health, I'm struggling and I need help. And so I said, right, let's get this book. I brought him another book last week, actually, but I said, let's get this book and let's do this, let's do that. And honestly, he has, he's evolved and grown so much. And he said to me the other day, he sent me the most beautiful message. And it basically, it's just, there are men who need help as well, there really, really are, and I think I focus a lot on women purely because I feel like I can relate to them a lot more. But I do feel like, I could offer so much to men as well. I really
Well, yeah, you're a role model for personal health and happiness, so it's attractive to anyone. And we were just talking about this earlier, but many of the men in my life are starting to open up because it's been a long journey for them of, stoic, buck up, supporting the family, not getting a lot of their needs met, emotionally either. But you and I both know, because we've worked together, that feeling the pain, feeling the anger is the way to, and it can be quick.
Yeah, you have to feel.
Men are taught not to feel, and so they're hindered in a way, generally. Men are taught that, and it's total freedom. To, even if you do it privately, just get it out responsibly, of course. And there are tools that we have to do that, but good for you.
Yeah, thank you. I actually feel like one of probably the biggest lies I've ever been taught is to not feel, to avoid feeling. And you have
It'll make you sick.
Yeah, it does, and you have to feel it to heal it, don't you? And, I think we have this socially, pain has privileges now. And I feel like people hold on to so much pain. And so men especially, I could definitely.
What do you mean by that? Can you explain it?
Pain has privileges. Well, what I mean by that is when your pain becomes an effective way of influencing somebody, healing then becomes a threat. So as much as pain it's uncomfortable, it's hurting us in some way, it's limiting us in some way, it serves a purpose. And I think that it's safe in this pain, especially if their pain body has become a part of their identity. It's almost scary to let go of that, and
you can dominate people with it too. My mother was like that, and others I've met in the medical research lab I worked in. They can really control you, especially if you're a sensitive person.
That's it. And if your pain, if your wounds, if your trauma, if your victim mentality, if that effectively influences people in your life, and it does, and you can see the benefits from that, then it's very unhealthy and toxic. But then you're not going to want to heal, are you? Because then healing means that you have to take 100% responsibility and accountability for you and your life. And I don't know how many people are ready to take that level of accountability. But I think, it's freedom. It's needed, and I think it's why I relate to you so much, because you are an energy healer and you really understand the benefits of healing from pain. And so,
look, we get so tired of hurting, and inflicting that pain on others.
Heavy to carry.
That most people reach a point where they're either going to succumb to it and they get sick. That's what I saw in ovarian cancer research, just giving it all away, like you were saying earlier, or higher levels of all kinds of things like diabetes and heart disease, and it just goes on. And boy, if I could just say one thing, it's like, if you learn how to open up and feel, it doesn't last the rest of your life. It's actually moving that energy on through, and then source love energy comes in and fills us up, and that's what heals us. Love. Whether we do it with affirmations or energy work, or getting wonderful little gifts like you're giving people in the mail, I guess.
Yeah,
You get a
yeah,
package in the mail and all your trainings and videos, and it's just,
yeah.
you
Mm.
know,
It's important. It's important.
great thing to do.
It's needed. It's
Yeah.
needed, especially with the world now. I feel like the world is such a sad place at the minute. You know, there's a lot of pain and confusion and anger and a lot of low energy around. But no, I definitely, and it is freedom. It is freedom, and it also doesn't mean that, you know, once we heal, that there's like an end destination, you know, because life is always going to give us pain and trauma, because it's life. We can't go through life without experiencing some kind of pain, but it's changing our attitude to it, isn't it? It's changing our perception to it. Rather than running from it, let's look at it, face it, sit with it, and heal from it. And that, you know, that's a liberating place to be when you can reach
Oh
that
my
point.
God, it just gets so much easier
Yeah,
to, the first time something traumatic happens, oh my God, it's, you know, the end of the world
yeah,
feeling. But we've researched, explored these tools, right? Techniques.
yeah,
And you have those in your toolbox and you just use them.
yeah.
And the other day, I was working with a family member and we both got triggered by an event. Um, so we were both tapping
Wow, yeah.
and it just 5 minutes later, it was over. It was just,
That's
it
it.
dissolved.
That's it. And I remember
So,
you taught me about EFT, emotional freedom technique tapping. And do you remember for my live Worthy Woman event that I did last year? We sat through an intense, well, for me, it was quite intense because I was actually sitting with some really uncomfortable emotions, wasn't I? Some emotions came up and some triggers came up, which I actually didn't was not consciously aware of before. But to sit with that negative, uncomfortable feeling and to welcome it and to say, okay, I'm listening to you. What do I need to learn from that? And then getting a lesson from it and then passing the energy on. You know, it's honestly, and it's about having tools, isn't it? You know, it's about
yeah.
having tools. It's about knowing what to do when you are feeling in pain. It's about you know, being proactive as well, you know, looking at accounts, and also being self-aware, you know,
Yeah.
because a lot of the time we could experience kind of pain and then just suppress it with so many different things. And
Smoking, drinking,
smoking,
eating,
drinking, you know,
whatever.
exactly all these toxic habits, and we're not actually being self-aware enough to recognize that actually, no, I need to look at that, I need to heal that. That wasn't, you know, that I needed to look at that properly rather than just ignore it. So
I
you
like
know,
having a coach too, someone
yeah,
that's why I love doing these interviews. So everyone can, you know, connect with someone. And it's wonderful to have a mentor that's been there and they can, you know, guide you
yeah,
to your best self and to start to ingrain the tools that we teach so you can use them for yourself. And you did just that with that session we did together. You gave your beautiful talk. You even had a super duper challenge of your computer not working for a
yeah,
bit. And then you just had to, you know the material so well that you could just keep going and keep
yeah,
providing service and go,
yeah,
oh, well, that happened,
yeah,
but I overcame and I did my workshop anyway. It was
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And that's the thing. I think that, you know, that we're always going to be, for instance, I've been looking at recently some trick I've been feeling triggered by some things in my life. And the other day I sat with it and I thought, why is that triggering me? And I looked at it and I had some deep realizations about myself, you know, because I was self-aware enough to notice the trigger
Mm.
and to sit with that uncomfortable feeling, and then I learned something from it and it was like a light bulb went off,
It
you know.
always has a gift, a
It always,
huge gift.
yeah, but we're
Wow.
we're coaches and we're still learning and we're always going to be learning, so you know
It does get easier though, don't you
does,
think? I
it
mean,
does,
crap is still going to happen,
yeah,
but we've got these tools and you just get into a new habit of using them. And my life is full of 95% of peace and joy most of the time. And it used to be 95% of stress and feeling, people are after me and not getting what I want and all of that stuff. So, use the tools. They work.
Yeah, they do. That's it, exactly. But you've got to want to,
You've got to want it.
You've got to want it, and you've got to kind of, this self-love journey to confidence. It's all about personal growth, and I think you've got to value personal growth first and foremost. You've got to be committed, because this, the work we're doing and the work we've done on ourselves, it's been challenging, it's been triggering, it's been uncomfortable. It's not an easy thing to get into. When we want to grow and learn and expand and evolve, it really isn't. It's not easy, but it's worth it, and there's so much freedom on the other side of it. We have to do the work. We have to, if we want to live, if we want to live being our true authentic selves and being the best version of ourselves, then there's no way to get out of it. We've got to do the work.
I think that's the purpose of our lives, really, to from a spiritual perspective, is the whole point of all this trauma and drama on this physical plane is to help us go deeper into ourselves and realize the truth of who we are. And I believe that to be pure universal love energy that we all share, and to remember that more and more, and come back to, hopefully long before we die, we leave the body, that we remember this is who we are. And like you and I have done, Sara, we remember this more and more often. And we just want to tell other people that it's possible, to not be triggered, to be happy and at peace, and find things come more easily into your life and so forth. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Well, my Worthy Woman self-love boxes are launching next week. These are something that I've been so excited about. And I'm excited for the world to receive. These are little self-love boxes, and we will put in there things to contribute self-esteem, to enhance confidence. So it's full of little gifts in there, and all different things. Like, this is one of my things here. It's my frame, and it's an affirmation frame. So I am enough, I'm beautiful, I am strong. So gifts like this, and then also they get access to online training. So they get a password, and then they get online trainings as well, with a empowerment plan and load of different things to help.
That is so clever.
I love it.
Thank you, Sara.
Thank you.